Welcome, guys. Today I want to talk to you about becoming an awesome artist and what that means. My name is Campbell and I've been a full-time practicing artist for 15 years. I've published 12 art books and I've had the pleasure of owning Awesome Art School since 2016 and impacting the lives of literally thousands of adult art learners through my 2 YouTube channels. So what does it take to become a great artist? And why do I do what I do? You're probably thinking, oh, she makes all of her money selling off of her masterpieces that she's clearly making. But it might surprise you that I actually don't make a single dollar off of my art because I don't sell it. So why do I make art? Why do I spend all of my time and all of my energy with a team of people behind me? Why do I spend that teaching art so much? Because I know the way that art makes us feel can have a huge impact in our lives and on the lives of others. And that, my friends, is what I am teaching. So how did I get here? You might find it really interesting to know that I never, ever in my whole childhood wanted or cared about being an artist. Not for 1 second. And why is that? Because, quite frankly, I was brought up to believe that art is just a hobby. No more, no less. Now, don't get me wrong. I have super creative parents and I come from a very creative background. My mom has always been excellent at knitting and sewing and being creative at making things. And she's volunteered at her church and set up craft fairs and has a very creative, very capable creative abilities. My dad, I grew up finishing furniture with him, and he's always made things out of wood, and he's always been creating things from nothing with his hands. And I do think that my love of creating things with my hands does come directly from both of my parents, but that's totally different than actually wanting to strive to become a working artist, right? It's not something that was ever on my radar. And why this matters is because I grew up thinking that having an education and growing up and having a profession was something that I needed to do and earn money to support myself, especially if I didn't end up getting married, which I did. But my parents were always a big firm believer of getting me the most education that I could, and a very good education, so that I could make good wages and I could support myself, or if I ever got divorced, I could lean on my own skills. So how the heck did I end up publishing 12 art books and dedicating my adult life to teaching others how to make amazing pieces of art? It's just so funny that you should say that. I got into art because I literally got addicted to how it made me feel. If I was having a bad day, my kids were super little and I was stuck home and I was changing diapers and I wanted to cry, or I had been crying, the minute that I sat down to start to draw or sketch or paint, all of those feelings went away. And it was like a drug. And it happened every single time. It helped every single time. When my kids were super tiny, 3 and 1, we moved states and we moved 700 miles away from my family, and I had no one in my life that could help. I had no one to talk to except for my sister on the phone, and it was super difficult. I then had a 3rd baby, so I had 4 babies that were 4 and under, and I was having a really tough time. Again, every time I sat down to make my art, it was like this transformation happened in my brain, it happened in my soul, it happened in my heart, and it made everything okay again. And I became like obsessed with seeking the feeling that art was giving me. It was almost like a drug, and I could not get enough. So I started doing everything in my power to get creative every single day. And I would start making excuses like, oh, well, I need to make this painting for Jack's room because the bunny, that his favorite bunny, doesn't match the wallpaper. And oh, and I would just look for these excuses to create any chance that I got. And I couldn't stop. And so then I started having a neighbor. Oh, I can make this painting that would match the bedding perfectly, right? Oh, let's do growth charts. How fun would that be? These are long, skinny canvases, and we can make them beautiful and match the bedding for your baby's room. And oh, you need a wedding anniversary gift. Like, I can make that for you. That'd be so fun. So I was really like dig down and searching and trying to come up with desperate excuses why I had to be creative. But it wasn't to make those things specifically. It was because I was chasing the positive effects that the painting time was giving to me. By default, I became a very good artist, because all that led to practice, and all that practice led to really, really great results. So why does that matter? It matters because of this. When I was a little girl and I looked up at somebody's art, or I could be at an art museum looking at a Picasso or a Van Gogh, or looking at even cartoons on my TV screen when I was little. Anything that was artistic, a picture, a painting, a sketch, a drawing, a portrait, a mural, anywhere in my environment, and I looked at that end result, and not for 1 second did I think that that was something that I wanted to do. And do you know why? Because I never thought that I could do it. Like that was like saying you could go walk on the moon. It was just so out of the realm of the possibility. So I never even entertained the thought. And here I am, a working artist, publishing and selling 12 books very successfully, impacting the lives of thousands of people who are now making amazing masterpieces of their own. So how does that happen? This is my philosophy on what happened and how art works, and how if I can learn to be a good artist, so can anybody. So can you. And I just wanted to show you a little diagram of the way that I think it works to be an artist and what you need to make that happen. This is just my perspective, but it brings clarity onto what happened with my own story, because sometimes I don't even understand it myself. I'm like, how did I get here? What am I doing? This was not on my to-do list, and yet here I am. So I find it fascinating that I got here, and I've been just reflecting lately on my own journey, trying to figure out, how did I get here? And why am I obsessed with passing this ability on to other people? Why? Why am I obsessed? People that my students know that I am the hardest working person in their life. And I can't even for myself figure out why I'm like this. But I've recently been doing a lot of soul searching and talking to my students, and I think I finally kind of figured out what it is I'm after to try to pass on to you. And it's freaking amazing, and it is literally the reason I work so hard, but it's also the reason I run out of bed in my mornings to get to work on my videos, to work on books, and pour everything that I could possibly know into your art education to make you a better artist, because the effects are so much more than just making a pretty picture. But let me back up a second and just talk about what I think what you need to be a good artist. I'm actually gonna draw something. So come over here for a second, and I just need to explain this in a little bit of a visual so you understand kind of what I'm talking about. Okay, when I was a little girl, and I would look at a portrait in a museum, and my impression instantly of how I understood someone to be a great artist, they had to have two things. This is very simple. Okay, so this is how I thought. Actually, I still kind of think this is how it works. Okay, so to be a great artist, you need two things. Okay. there's 2 ingredients. You need a butt ton of talent and need a full bucket of passion, okay? So you have 50% talent plus 50% passion equals, this is, you know, your Van Gogh and your Picassos. This is an awesome artist. We are full 100%. We are, these people are the total packages. These are the people that major in art in college because they were born with some natural talent. Their teachers saw this, they encouraged it, their parents were excited, although they're a little scared because making a living as an artist is difficult. But that's okay because these people who are talented also have enough passion, right, to fuel the drive to keep going into art classes and learning and perfecting their craft. This passion is huge. That's why it's 50-50. And this is what creates, that says awesome artist. It's really hard to read that. But this equation, when you're full up on talent, full up on passion, you automatically, you have everything it takes to become an artist, to become an awesome artist. Okay. When I was little, well, I would say 0 through 30, and I'm 44 now, I thought I had some skills, right? Like, I would draw flour and chalk on my driveway with my kids, and I'd be like, oh, not bad, nailed it a little bit, okay? So, to me, my talent, I would say, you know, I didn't want to be boastful. I would say I was at like 10% talent, maybe 10%. Okay, and as far as passion, I wouldn't say that I was ever super passionate about being creative. I did it, it was cool. However, this bucket, the passion bucket, became a little bit something else. I came close to this when I was in my really, really sad mental and physical state. I was much heavier. I was miserable being a young mother with my small kids. I know that sounds terrible, but that is really like coming from the heart. That's what was fueling my desire to create art every day. So this bucket of passion for me was more like, this was the soul fulfilling result of doing an activity. So rather than passion, I'm just gonna put positive vibes, right? So here I am showing up with my 10% talent, literally, okay? And all my positive vibes. And this vibes is what kept on leading me to create. It was chasing these feelings, okay? So this is what we can do. This is our skills bucket. And this is our feelings bucket. Okay? So talent plus passion equals awesome art. A tiny bit of talent, 10%. Plus I got some really good positive vibes. It's a start. Okay, it's a start. I'm not 100% at an awesome artist, but I could be like, you know, 30%. I could make some paintings that people would hang up in their walls if I charged them $30. They would pay for that. Is it a masterpiece? No. But was it decent looking? Sure, yeah, it was okay. Okay, so how did I end up over here? Fast forward 20 years, if I didn't have any of this and I only was starting with this down here? I'm gonna tell you. So the way you can get to 100% of being an awesome artist, and I've just recently, like I said, come to this conclusion. because I think it is completely accurate because I have lived to fill in this equation myself. How did I get here with so little over here? Is this. Here's my 10% talent that I come to the table with, okay? This is my joy of creating. This is all of those sessions, all of those hundreds of canvases and anniversary presents and kids' growth charts and canvases to match babies' rooms and nurseries. This starts building up. Remember, this is skills. This is the feels, okay? This starts filling up a little bit. This is like all of those excuses to be able to practice my craft because it made me feel good. It's starting to fill up my skills bucket a little bit. Just went from 10 to say, just went to 20%. That's not too shabby. All right, we're getting somewhere. So now we're like, the awesome artist meter's going up a little bit. Then say I enroll at my local parks and recs. They have a painting class. Taking a couple painting classes, okay. All right, look at that. Starting to move up in the world. Well, we're getting there, and I'm still having my joy. This is always gonna feel good to me. But now also my artwork is getting a little better too. Look at that, it's kind of getting a little bit better. Okay, so let's fill up our awesome artist bucket. All right, and you know, the funny thing too is as my art got better, my skills got better, my joy also got better. It was a compounding effect. So now my joy meter, so the act of creating has always made me feel awesome. Escape, right? It is literally so fulfilling. It makes me forget my emotional pain. It makes you forget your physical pain. Okay, so my joy bucket is always pretty awesome. It's always half full, but now my art is getting better. And I'm like, oh yes, no, look at that little extra bonus side effect. My feels bucket is also going up. All right, so what else? Let's go to YouTube. So then YouTube was invented in 2004, I believe, or 5 or 6. It was like kind of starting really mainstream. So I wasn't on YouTube then, and I don't even think I went to it for anything, but YouTube started. So maybe if you were going on YouTube, that would give you some skills, plus it's free. So how nice is that? Okay, this is where like my buddy Bob comes in. Bob Ross, who is my best friend. Well, we'll talk about Bob actually. We'll talk about him in a minute. So we're getting better, okay? So what else can we put in here that's gonna make us feel good here? Well, for me, it was taking online art classes, okay? And I took online art classes fervently because for 2 reasons. One, it was really filling up my skills bucket like major fast. And 2, I freaking loved those classes, okay? It was awesome. I got to do them at my time. I could do them when my kids were napping. It was super convenient. I could just throw open my laptop, grab my sketchbook and go. Those online classes literally changed my life. So I took all and every one that I could get my hands on. And soon these buckets, again, my artwork got better and that made me happier. Then my skills continued to grow and to climb. And when my skills got better and my feels got better, guess what? I wanted to do it more and more and more. And so it was this cycle of all the skills plus all the feels, and continue over time, writing books, learning new skills, putting those into practice, coming up with processes that make these skills even easier and faster, which makes my feels bucket so happy too. This circle, before you know it, you and me, we're awesome artists. Look at that. How cool is that? So without this virile passion And without any skills, you can become an awesome artist, just like anybody. You can. You literally can. When I came up with this, I felt elated because I could finally put into pictures all the thoughts and the feelings about why it is that I do what I do so much. Because I freaking live for filling up both of these buckets with my students. Skills is way awesome, and I excel at breaking really complicated art pieces, frankly, into very simple layering systems. My mixed media artists know this, my mixed media students. Same thing with my drawing students. If we can make the skills super easy, this bucket gets filled up way faster. I'm all about that. Okay, that's why I give out cheat sheets with all my YouTube videos. That's why I publish so many books. That's why I put out so many YouTube videos. It's because I'm trying to help you fill up your skills bucket as fast as possible. Why is that? So we can get over here as fast as possible. I want you to become an awesome artist because this is awesome and this is amazing. All of these good feels are amazing. The transformative properties that art creating does to a person, they've proved scientifically over and over and over the good, positive, and emotional, physical effects of doing art is amazing. If you can put these two together, honey girl, that is freaking awesome. And I am obsessed with creating this transformation of people because I've seen them go from no skills to making amazing faces. And I've seen them go from about themselves to, oh my gosh, not only is the process super fun, but also the end result is awesome. All of it heightens all the other buckets. And so it compounds on itself. And you probably know this already, but scientists have literally proved the physical, like I already said, the physical and emotional benefits of being in the act of creation. It lets you focus deeply. You get into induced, what the scientific community calls a flow, where wonderful things happen when you're in the zone. It's the sense of losing yourself, losing all awareness. And just so you know, this is an article written by NPR scientific correspondents. It lowers cortisol levels it raises cortisol, which is a hormone that helps the body respond to stress. So it lowers your stress. Oh my gosh, there's so many positive for the feels bucket that I was just talking about. It's scientifically proven the rewards of creating itself are a concrete side effect of just being in the throes of creation. And then in addition to this, I recently reached out to my Facebook group members and I asked them, like, what does being creative mean to you? And I did a poll and I listed like 15 different things. And it was like, feel good, I want to make art to sell it, like all the things. And people were responding with, so many reasons. I've gone through some trauma in my life, so when I'm sad, I can express myself. Other times I'm happy and I like to create for other people. I can lose myself out of feeling what's going on in the world, and right now that's what we need. More art to combat the coronavirus, fires in California, hurricanes in the Gulf, etc., etc. So it's an escape. I'm torn between soul fulfilling and emotional pain distracting. I don't feel like it distracts me from my pain, but rather offers healing to it. So I choose soul fulfilling. I love to learn new techniques. It's fun. It takes my eyes off of my fibromyalgia pain. It's good to do when exhaustion is too much. It makes me feel good about myself and life. It's great therapy. It brings joy. And I love seeing how others in the group are progressing and inspiring each other. And of course, Karen is a brilliant teacher, blah, 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 blah. It's extremely soul fulfilling. It also distracts me from my physical pain. I get so immersed in it that the pain, although it's still there, moves to the background. Art is my life raft. So I don't think we need to talk too much in depth about the soul feeling bucket because we already know, I think, the feels that we get from doing it. So let's talk a little bit before we go about the second, well, let's actually talk a little bit about that second bucket, because there are a lot of negative thoughts that can come up sometimes that get in the way of us being able to be creative. And I just want to draw attention to that really quickly. I'm going to go back to my little whiteboard here. Okay, so for the last time, I'm going to revisit these buckets, okay? I'm a visual person, so I'm doing visual things. I hope that helps you too. All right, so we have our skills, okay, which could be at 0%. And we have our feelings, okay? So say we know that when we're in the throes of creation, again, the feelings bucket is full, right? But this is what I find happens in reality. I've taught both children. For 5 years full-time, I taught children. And then for the last 5 years, I've been teaching adults. And there's a very big difference between the feels of a child doing art and the feels of an adult doing art. And it looks like this. When a 5-year-old does a drawing, they are having the time of their lives while they're doing their drawing. So their feels is at 100%. They love it during, they get the feels, they don't care a rat's ass about their skills bucket. They are awesome and on fire. This will always be in their heads 100%. Good for them. And so they are fired up, A+, 100%, awesome artists all day long. What happens is there's a shift around puberty. And I've seen this in my students. I used to teach between 5 and 18-year-old kids. And I taught them privately in my home. So it wasn't in like a busy classroom session. These are children that I had one-on-one and in very small group settings. So I got to know these kids, and it wasn't just, this isn't me teaching a class of 30, this is me getting to know kids over time. And actually teaching the same kids from the point where they're 5 up to they're 10. And there comes a point around puberty between 9 and 12 with the girls where they go from not giving a rat's ass about skills to having all the feels and making their 100% awesome arts at the end. And then I noticed about like I just said, around puberty, that no matter what happened here, and over time, their skills bucket, because they've been drawing with me for so many years, this would get pretty full. They were getting good. They had the technical skills. But what happened is this feels would go down. And this was super interesting to me. It also broke my heart, because these are the negative feelings that they would start thinking. They would look at their neighbors and think, mine's not as good as hers. And they would start thinking, oh, I have no talent. I might have learned some things, but I don't actually come to the table without any talent. And now that I'm 10, I kind of am aware of that. So I feel bad about myself. And my art around this time would never get to be 100% awesome artist. Absolutely not. And it would also be frowned upon, because that would be considering yourself selfish, right? And that would be not being modest, and that's frowned upon. It would be bragging to say that you had 100% awesome art. So that was a no-no. Now, they never got that from me, because I'm the world's most annoying, obnoxious, positive cheerleader that you'll ever meet. And the reason is because of that. Because watching a 5-year-old elated that they made a hot mess on their paper, had 100% feels while they were doing it, didn't care about this, and thought they were 100% an awesome artist. Fast forward 5 years, and all of a sudden, their perception of their talent is way down. And the joy that they're feeling, because they have bombarded by all these inner negativities. Oh, I'm not perfect. Oh, I made a mistake. Her nose is crooked. Her eyes don't look realistic. Her hair, I don't know how to draw hair the right way. Therefore, I'm bad, and therefore my art sucks. Okay, then there's no chance ever of getting these kids back up to 100% awesome artist state. I don't have a chance, because I can't combat against these negative feelings that are coming in, and they're keeping this bucket, forcing this bucket to not being able to be filled up. Okay, until I came up with a little system. And this system I've been using for forever, but I've just recently put a name to it, and I'm super fired up, and you're gonna love it, and that's what I'm gonna talk about now. And the system is called this. So I teach art, okay? I teach art lessons, and I teach them online at Awesome Art School, because I believe that we can all be awesome artists and have both all the skills as well as all the joy to magnify our amazing art pieces. And I teach it through number one, first and foremost important, is attitude. So by being the world's most annoyingly obnoxious positive cheerleader, I am here to remind you that that feels bucket is, remember, as equally important, equal as the skills bucket. So I am relentless in causing joy and having fun. You have to have fun and joy while you're creating, or you will never get to your 100% at the end. You won't get here. But the thing that is fun is that this is just your own thoughts coming in and trying to tamp down your joy. But you can stop it from happening. And sometimes that's really hard. And sometimes you have to listen to me when I say, I super screwed up, whatever. Because it doesn't matter, you guys. It literally doesn't matter. It's just a piece of paper with a picture on it. It doesn't matter. There's no consequences. Did somebody die or get hurt in the making of this drawing? No. So if you crumple it up because it sucks, who cares? Better yet, don't crumple it up, erase it, and try again. And then try again, and then try again. Okay, because it doesn't matter. What matters is that you are having the time of your life. You know why that matters? Because if your joy bucket is getting genuinely filled up, because I am making you have fun, and I will make you have fun, God damn it, you will get some R in. What is R? Repetition. So if this is filled with joy, you are hanging out with me at Awesome Art School, and believe you me, we are having the time of our lives. We are. You can ask my students, okay? We are gonna go and we're gonna work on filling up our skills bucket, okay? We're gonna be repeating. One, because it's so fun, we're gonna wanna do it again. That's my goal anyways, right? So you screwed up on that face? All right, awesome, do another one. Oh, you still screwed up with them? Okay, just do another one. And have fun the whole time, by the way. Look at this, that repetition. Guess what's getting filled up? You got it, your skills bucket. So what comes next? These are the actual skills, okay? You can be taught just plain old skills. How do you shade a face? How do you take your Stabilo all pencil and make it not look like a hot mess on your paper? How do you do that? Well, that's what I'm here for. So I'm gonna teach you how to do that. And so YouTube is awesome. It's free, okay? So YouTube is a great resource. And I show up there every single week to offer those who cannot afford real classes some great value, some great lessons, and some great ideas. For those of you who are really ready to get over here to experience the full combination of full joy and full skills, this is where my Awesome Art School lives. This is my system. This is completely different than YouTube. This is real time. This is full length. This is you and me hanging out together in real time, just you and me, in the comfort of your own home on your favorite device. And we are making some seriously kick-ass art pieces, and we're having the time of our lives. And then guess what happens? So YouTube is a slice, but it's only like a 10% slice in the skills bucket. Awesome Art School is the whole humongous picture. And I've put into the 2 different clubs at Awesome Art School a systematic approach from very beginning through to beginner, intermediate, advanced, so you can grow at your own pace as your leisure and as your abilities or disabilities allow you time and freedom and space to fill up this bucket. And this, because of my annoyingly obnoxious positive personality, this will be there for you as well, because I am hell-bent on having a good time. This is why Bob Ross, this is why I have to talk about Bob for a second, is such an inspiration to me. Because this man right here understood the same principles that I teach by and that I live by. Bob, let's see your face, buddy. His whole philosophy about happy little trees, right? What is he doing when he's talking about his happy little trees? He's filling up your joys bucket. And he's actively combating the negative thoughts that you're having, like, oh, I just screwed up the tree. By him saying happy little trees, he is trying to actively override your negativity that is coming up, your mindset that is coming up as an adult since you hit puberty, to try to battle against those. That's why I love him. And he's super sexy too. But that's why I love him, because he excelled at that part of it. So, and he makes learning easy, right? And that's what I also try to do, is make it easy, because the easier it is to learn, the more you can allow yourself to have the good feels and to have fun. It's easy, then you're gonna have success. And if you have success, you're gonna have more fun. Your attitude A is gonna be right there. You're going to wanna repeat the process, okay? So repetition happens out of your joy. And then from the repetition, you're gonna start really learning some real techniques. And then again, you're gonna feel great about yourself. And the cycle that we started to remember from the very first page, remember this? This cycle can be complete. And before you know it, you are making pieces of art that you literally never thought possible, and you are having the time of your life. How awesome is that? So I really want you to consider what these clubs, either the Fun Fab Drawing Club or the Mixed Media Society, can do to help you fill up your buckets, if that is something that you're interested in doing. If you're happy to just create and do whatever and do a coloring book, then do that. But for those of you who really are searching for how to increase your skills and how to infuse your work with more joy so you can make amazing pieces that you're so super proud of as a 63-year-old just starting out, that is awesome. And I have so much more to talk about this on my on this subject. I can't do it. I feel like I've already talked my face off, but I just feel so passionately about this because I have gone through this exact transformation, and it's not hard. That's the thing, it's not hard to do, and it's so fun. So I want to spread that, and I'm like obsessed with spreading that and this whole philosophy. So if you're down with it, I'm gonna be sending you another video tomorrow. I really wanna talk to you more about this, but I also wanna teach you something concrete, an actual technique, a little tea of the art, to just show you like something little and easy, how fun it could be. So if you wanna just make sure you check back tomorrow and actually watch that video and do that with me, I'm gonna just bring a pencil and a Q-tip and we'll have a little bit of fun, but I just wanna show you, give you a little taste of what that success can feel like. And if you've already been learning with me on YouTube, maybe you've already done this, but you can just come hang out anyways, we'll have fun, right? It's free anyways, I'll be just coming into your inbox. So before I leave this video though, I know a lot of you, I know what you're saying. You already have a negative thought in your head right now, and I'm gonna tell you what you're thinking. You're thinking, well, I don't think that I think I'm too old to have this kind of a transformation. I'm 73. I'm retired now. I do have more time. I could work some of these lessons into my day, but you're thinking, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. That's what you're thinking right now. I know, because I have a million students who are 73, and they've told me. Okay, I'm on to you though. So I'm gonna leave you with this little clip that I made 2 years ago, but it still holds true. So you're gonna see my hair will look different. I don't have, look at my COVID roots, by the way. I'm sporting my whites, they're coming out. So I'm gonna look a little different because I taped this 2 years ago, but I've been teaching for a long time, and I've had the same people come up to me and say the same things over and over, which is, I'm 80, I cannot possibly start this right now. Like, this is a little ridiculous. I'm actually embarrassed about the thought of wanting to be an awesome artist because, you know, I'm a grown woman. Like, I have 8 grandchildren. I can't start on a journey now, you know? I just want to leave you with this clip because it's awesome. And I think it will maybe make you think twice about that, because I'm just going to come out right now and flat out tell you that I think you're wrong. That if I can start, I didn't start till I was an adult. And even if I'm younger than you, just watch the clip. You'll catch it. But I hope it inspires you, and I hope it makes you realize, you know what? You have a hell of a lot of life left. And wouldn't it be awesome to spend it doing something that you secretly really cared about and wanted to try? Everyone's journey is completely different, and the only reason I bring that up is that, like, we all have our own journey, and I want you to put your blinders on when you think about your abilities and where you're at, and not to compare yourself to anyone else. It's really important to put your blinders on and to just focus on you, because everyone can learn to draw. Everyone can learn to paint. I don't care who you are, man, woman, I don't care how old you are. Like, it's all good and we can do it. You just need someone to teach you the skills to do that. But this also got me started to think, I bet you there's tons of famous people out there who are like super famous, who got really quote unquote late starts in life, right? Because it's all relative. My grandmother, by the way, is 102 years old and she's still rocking on this earth. And like, she didn't start playing tennis until she was in her 60s. And you think, oh, 60's old. If you're, 18, you think 60's old. And then I think to myself, no, she still had 40 years to go after she learned to play. I mean, 40 years? That's like my whole life up until this point. So it's just all relative, and you just need to remember that. And so I started thinking and Googling, and I just had to share this with you because I thought it was so funny. Quickly, a list of people that hit their prime or hit their like stride when they were, just not blooming fresh graduates out of college. Let's just put it that way. So check out this list with me. It's super fun. All right, are you ready for a really fun list? Let's do it. First of all, Vera Wang didn't start designing wedding gowns until the age of 40. Julia Childs didn't even start cooking until she was 36. Stan Lee published his very first comic book at the age of 39, and Samuel L. Jackson his first acting gig at 43. Henry Ford was 45 when he invented the Model T. Harland Sanders, or Colonel Sanders, was 62 when he first franchised KFC. Laura Ingalls Wilder published her very first book, Little House on the Prairie, at the age of 65. Anna Mary Robertson Moses, otherwise known as Grandma Moses, is a famous artist whose works sell for millions of dollars, didn't start painting until the age of, you ready for it? 78. Lucille Ball was 40 when she started the I Love Lucy show. Toni Morrison was 40 upon publishing her first novel. Morgan Freeman didn't star in his first movie until he was 52. And the beloved Millard Kaufman wrote his very first novel at the age of 90. And you might know him best for creating the famous character, the adorable Mr. Magoo. So I hope you enjoyed this really fun list of late starters, superstars, and I hope at the very least it just motivates you and convinces you to understand that you can rock this life and this artistic habit and hobby and career at any day, at any time you feel like it. And don't worry about anyone else but yourself. So 2 years later, I stand by everything I said, and yeah, thanks for watching. I hope this video truly inspired you and made you understand on a deeper level what it is I'm obsessed with and why I care so much about you and your art journey.